This podcast is sponsored by Uncomfortable Ideas by Bo Bennett, PhD. Challenge your beliefs and embrace the uncomfortable. Discover the power of confronting ideas that push your boundaries. Get the book or enroll in the online course today at uncomfortable-ideas.com.
Political erosion of trust in institutions, challenging the status quo. Exploring how political failures and scandals erode public trust in government and why facing uncomfortable truths is vital for change. The political erosion of trust in our institutions, why we're losing faith. You ever find yourself shaking your head after the latest political scandal or failure? Like, how are these things even still happening? It almost feels like a loop, one mess after another, and every time, public trust in our government just takes another hit. And honestly, the more you look at it, the more you realise this isn't just about one politician or one party. This erosion of trust, it's systemic, and it creeps into how we see all governmental institutions. Think about it. Political failures and scandals, whether it's corruption, broken promises, or blatant incompetence, they don't just disappoint us in the moment. They chip away at the very foundation of what these institutions stand for. When elected officials act purely out of self-interest, or when the system seems rigged to protect them rather than the people, it's no wonder people end up cynical and disengaged. What gets me is how rarely we have what I'd call uncomfortable conversations about why this keeps happening. We're quick to blame the other side or shout about partisan games, but that's just scratching the surface. The uncomfortable truth is that this erosion of trust is often the result of decades of ignoring accountability, transparency, and genuine public service. It's about systems designed to protect those already in power, resisting any real change. That's where challenging the status quo becomes crucial. But let's be honest, most politicians and the institutions themselves aren't eager to embrace discomfort. They prefer things as they are because that means they keep their influence and the perks that come with it. This resistance to change only fuels public suspicion. When people feel ignored or betrayed repeatedly, they start distrusting not only the leaders but the institutions meant to serve them. There's also this tricky part where people want clear answers and easy fixes, but political systems are complex. Understanding different perspectives helps, but often the conversation gets oversimplified into us versus them, which makes thoughtful dialogue rare. And without that dialogue, it's harder for any real reform or healing to happen. One thing that's really stuck with me from the book Uncomfortable Ideas by Bo Bennett, PhD, is the idea that confronting uncomfortable truths is essential if we want to move forward. The book pushes readers to face realities they might usually avoid, exactly what we need when thinking about government and trust. It's a thought-provoking, podcast-worthy perspective all on its own, a reminder that avoiding hard realities only delays meaningful progress. To me, the takeaway here is that repairing trust isn't about grand gestures or catchy slogans. It requires ongoing, honest efforts to hold leaders accountable and demand transparency. It means embracing discomfort as citizens by asking tough questions, learning how institutions really work, and pushing for reforms even when it's inconvenient. So yeah, talking about political failures and scandals isn't exactly a crowd pleaser. But if we shy away from these offensive topics, we miss a chance to understand what's really at stake and what we can do about it. This is more than just frustration. It's about the future of how we govern ourselves. If this kind of conversation gets you thinking, I highly recommend checking out Uncomfortable Ideas. It's a great resource for anyone interested in being tolerant and seeing issues from a fresh perspective. It's not the lightest read, but sometimes that's exactly what's needed. Ultimately, if we want to rebuild trust in our institutions, we have to be willing to face the realities, no matter how unpleasant, and to foster dialogue that encourages real change. It's not easy, but the alternative is continuing down a path where trust crumbles even further. And believe me, that's a road no one wants to travel.